Hi, folks. This is Thursday, January 24th, 2020. Hi, Don. Hi, Tom. Thanks for being here. Folks, I have not heard a word from Larry since 1 o'clock Eastern yesterday. I have no idea what's happening. I've tried calling and there is no answer. I have left, I've sent a few texts. I haven't bothered him. I don't do that. Normally, I wait for him to call me. And the fact that he has not contacted me, usually if he's working, and he'll start at 6 in the morning and work till midnight, take a break for us, when he has a 5-minute break they call it a bathroom break, he'll give me a quick call and just keep in touch, let me know how long he's been working. But and tell me if the fan, I've got a little heater beside me, tell me if that's bothering you, if it's too loud. Usually he'll call me during his 5-minute break just to tell me that he's been working since 6 and, to make sure I get him the link so he can join us. And I did send him the link, but I don't expect to hear anything from him. I don't expect him to join us because he hasn't answered the phone. He hasn't responded to text messages. So we've got nothing but a big question mark over what's happening with him. I do not know. I'm very concerned, very, very concerned. We've February 26th, I think it was, 2018, was it? We had 12 people on the conference call together that I knew he wasn't doing well, and I called for prayer, and he was pronounced dead by the doctors, and they left the room, stopped trying to resuscitate him. The nurse started unhooking him, and all of a sudden he sat up. We had, a very powerful time of prayer, and he came back, and he was told either in a dream or an actual visitation by Jesus that last May that he was not done yet, and he was not going home until he was done. He was to hang on. The suffering was something he was going to have to endure, but he needed to finish his mission. I don't think his mission is finished yet because, the impeachment has not been stopped. That was something he was supposed to do. So I don't believe his time is up, but that's out of my hands. That's nothing I have any control over. We will have a conference call immediately after. Normally we have one on Thursday at 4 Eastern, which is usually after the hour. I'm not going to keep you on here for an hour. So I'm going to put up the conference call number right now. I'm going to talk about a few things, but I am going to put the conference call number here right now, and I'll put it in again in a little bit. Don't forget that several things are in the description box. We've got still calls to Mitch McConnell. We have I put up a script that you can use to call Ted Cruz. Sorry, my fingers are covered in paint. I'm doing white trim right now, so I look a mess. Sorry about that. I even have it on my face. I think I didn't get it all off. Yeah, there's the spot right there. Anyhow, in the description box, a call to Mitch McConnell, calls to Mitch McConnell to stop this and dismiss this case. Calls to Ted Cruz because he's saying that we need to, wouldn't it be great if we can prove Trump innocent with the trial? No, that is not what we do. You are innocent until proven guilty. And right now, the nonsense that Nadler is spewing, the nonsense Adam Schiff spewed yesterday with all their lies, it's not to mention the illegality of how they did not follow procedures correctly. And don't forget that Nancy Pelosi sat on the articles after they voted for them, for 33 days and did not send them over for 33 days. Any significance of that in the occult world? So there is what I would consider high crimes and misdemeanors among the Democratic leadership, Democrat leadership in what they're trying to pull off. But then if you have followed Larry as long as I have, the second week of July, Larry was telling us that Trump would, before even 2016, second week of July, 2016, it was the week before he got the nomination. It was right after or about the time that we were making phone calls to 5 key Republicans that were electors and were going to be voting, whether he was going to get the nomination or not. He said the second week of July that they would have to either impeach him or assassinate him because he was not one of them. He was not in politics. He was not bought. He was not, he's not doing what they are, the kinds of things that they are involved in. And don't forget, Larry has told us over and over and over, what they accuse somebody else of doing is what they are doing. The reason they can go into such detail in their accusations is because they know very well what they are doing themselves. Larry calls it transference. The psychological term is projection. So they are projecting on President Trump their own misdeeds. And the lack of justice in what is happening when they are accusing Trump of things that they themselves have done, that past presidents have done, as far as the withholding aid, he was within his rights to withhold, as Larry has told us, he is the person, President Trump is the person most responsible for our security. Whoops. I'm just reading Monty's. Thanks, Monty, for buying the book. I hope you enjoy it. So where was I? He wasn't one of them. So Larry knew right away things that were going to happen. And early in 2018, he saw the paperwork from the Democrats about all the freebies that they were going to be offering in 2018 and for 2020. And he told us about them, the reparations for the blacks. I mean, they know these things will break our economy. Healthcare for all and all these other things that they're trying to do, free college, free debt, college debt repayment. They know the Appropriations Committee will never approve funding. And so they can lie and say whatever they want because they know it's not true. They know it'll never happen. They can promise it because they know it'll never happen. And so don't forget, Larry says that people in Congress lie. And don't forget that Larry used to give the orientation and acclamation, I think he called it, he's the only one, he is probably the only one that has given that orientation speech to both Democrats and Republicans. And the Democrats have to sign a promise that they will do as they're told, do what the party tells them to do. The Republicans only do it verbally. So right now, yes, they are voting on the process rules and the inquiry when they did that the first day. As for the voting for impeachment, Larry said the good news was it looked like Senator Collins was getting a little softer on where she would vote or how she would vote. I'm just looking up. I have sent Larry a couple of text messages, Gloria, and I sent him the link to come on here now he has not responded to several calls. Somebody PayPal'd some money for me, not for me, for Larry, to me, sent it to me, and then I forwarded on to Larry. And I did that yesterday, and I haven't heard. I told him how much I had and needed to know what he needed. He did not respond to that. I went ahead and sent him part of it this morning, hoping that they would, respond, because I'm concerned. I know he's got a huge bill at the hospital, and I'm very concerned that, if I have money in his account that he has not asked for and is ready to pay for something new, I'm really concerned that if I put too much in his account, that the hospital will take it. So I need to hear from him. So I don't know where he is. I know he was still at home and they were treating him with this experimental whatever they're doing. But I have no idea where he is now, because his wife doesn't have a phone because they can't afford that. And Tony, I appreciate that prayer that you're praying there. So yeah, Chris, Trump did say, we did hear yesterday that he has said that he wants to be in on it. He is back home, I think, isn't he? The amazing thing is he is going to speak tomorrow to the March for Life crowd, because he wants Roe versus Wade overturned. And we finally have a president who's going to put pressure on people where pressure should be put. Now, there's a lot of discrepancy between his saying that he is pulling funding for Planned Parenthood. Now, whether that funding was put back in behind our backs, when they add amendments to funding bills and stuff, I don't know. I've kind of heard rumor of that, so I don't really know. I had a couple notes here. I'm looking over my shoulder. I think that's all I had written down. So I don't know, as far as phone calls right now, I know time is of the essence now to be contacting senators, but Larry was going to give us, usually he'll give us anywhere from 1 to 5 to call, and he will know the key people that we need to contact. So because of what Ted Cruz had said on TV, that we need to, wouldn't it be great if we could prove Trump innocent? No, that is not the way the law works, and he should know that. So he was just tricking for votes or tricking for support. So if there is anybody, well, the walls around me here have been painted, and probably by tomorrow that brown door won't be brown anymore. At least by Monday it won't be brown anymore. I've got to paint the doors. I have avoided doing that for 21 years, but it's time to, I've been told they have to be painted white. So the window over there with its brown trim, the window itself is brown and the grills are brown, so that won't be changing. Donna, why do illegals get free health care and Larry suffers without the ability to pay? I'm annoyed about it as well. And believe me, it is very hard for him. He can't go to, a regular doctor's office because he doesn't have money to pay. So he has to join the illegals in the emergency room anytime he goes over to get something done. So it just, believe me, that rubs him every single time he has to go. And he goes over multiple times a day, back and forth, back and forth. He uses a different route each time he goes. He goes at different times so that he doesn't leave a trail of habit, so that anybody watching him is not going to be able to say, well, go at such and such a time because that's when he goes to the hospital, or go at such and such a time because that's when he's heading home. There have been cars that I know that have sat in his neighborhood that he's been aware of. I mean, he was on with Alex Jones in the spring of 2016, and he was looking out the window, and when it's warm enough, he keeps the front door open to keep an eye on things. So Murphy's Law, he's too sick to give up his citizenship and come back in the border crossing. Cute idea, but no. So I'm just kind of checking what else is being said. People have screamed about what they want government to do, and we finally have a president that is at least trying to do it, even if he's blocked, even if, he has to go with what his team recommends. He is given, when he's choosing something, choosing people for different offices, he has to take their recommendations, and they give him a very small number that he interviews. So they can give him all deep state people, and because even though he worked with a lot of people in Congress to get things done for himself, it's different being in the White House from trying to help support and pay for people's campaigns in exchange for help and so on. So we know Judgment Day is definitely coming for all these deep state folks. And, when you think about the 33 days that Nancy Pelosi sat on the articles of impeachment and the pomp and circumstance used to sign them and to carry them over to the Senate, it's pretty ridiculous. Larry coming and living anywhere else. I was on the phone this morning with a member of the team, and she made the comment, if he hadn't been in the town where he grew up, he probably would not be alive today, because he does, even though he lost a lot of friends with what he did, he also has some very loyal people in town who do have the ability to pull some strings for him. So Diane, yes, even the president sometimes has to do what he's told. That the issue is, when it's time to nominate somebody for a cabinet position, they give him a short list, and he gets to choose from that short list. And that's the way that works. I never knew that either until Larry told us. Well, I'm not sure how we're going to shut it down, John, but the way to do it is with the phone calls. So keep calling the offices in Kentucky, in Fort Wright. I think Bowling Green's number still works. No, his Social Security and Medicare from him. So and Medicare would not pay for the experimental things that he's getting. So that's why we come in. That's where we come in. So, our system is completely rigged. The judicial system is already communist in many respects. Thank God, President Trump has been able to put in 187, I think the number is, federal judges. So, James, I love that. Please find an ice hat, somebody, and send it to Larry so he can go to the emergency room wearing an ice hat. That's funny. Oh, that's great. Right. So, all right, guys, that's all I'm going to do today. I know it's been only about 20 minutes, but keep Larry in prayer. And if you want to join us for prayer on the conference call, I'm going to post the number again right now. What election is that, Murphy's Law, on March 3rd? We've got next month, we've got the caucuses. I think we have the caucuses in Iowa, and very, very soon. Yes, thanks for making me laugh. Very soon, we've got the New Hampshire primaries coming up. So, boy, we need people running against these incumbents, and we certainly need to make sure that even if we have a choice between a new Democrat and an incumbent Republican, this is the one time when we need to still keep a Republican in, no matter who it is, because there can be at least a little pressure applied to the Republicans that we can't do with the Democrats. And Larry has said, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time contacting any Democrat, because they have signed an oath to follow and do what they're told. We may actually contact Manchin and Doug Jones at some point, but I don't know that till next week. Thank you, Sherry. We appreciate the calls that you have made. Thank you very much. And remember, folks, phone calls make a bigger difference. Emails can be deleted without being counted. Letters can be thrown in the trash without being opened. And our phone calls, they have to count. So thanks for those of you that are trying to call Mitch McConnell and are adding Ted Cruz right now. That's it for today. God bless you. I will be back tomorrow with or without Larry. I will give you an update, and we're going to keep this going as long as possible, as long as we know he's still with us. And if I'm not even going to go there, never mind. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. So thanks, guys. God bless you. And I'm getting on the conference call right now, and I'm posting that number again. Here you go. And if you miss it in the live chat, it is at the very bottom of the description box. It's the last few digits right at the very end of the description box. So God bless you. We'll talk tomorrow. Yes, I agree, Murphy. Thank you.